Wow, this was such an incredible 60 minutes. 67 minutes, I think it ended up being, and it is gonna be so worth your time. There are some really key principles in this conversation that you're gonna learn about your own health and fitness, but also about how to really be successful in a way that is long lasting. And I love the way that Jenny in this conversation is gonna share some very practical things about mindset that are going to help you be able to overcome your feelings, the motivation or lack of motivation.
Mhm.
So there's some really great tools as she shares about her own life and the consistency that she's had and some of the moments that she's stepped out, learned new things, and then continued to grow herself. So you're in for a treat as you listen to this conversation with Jenny, and I'm so glad you're here with us. Welcome to Flex with Purpose, the podcast that explores what it means to move toward our highest potential, not for personal gain or applause, but to strengthen others and make the world a better place. I'm your host, Schalee Sánchez. I am absolutely thrilled that you have joined us today because we have an amazing guest that I am so excited to learn from and have a conversation with. Jenny, thank you for joining me here tonight. I
Yes, of
am
course.
very, very just in a place of thinking this is going to be amazing. And the great thing is I don't have any expectations about where our conversation is going to go, but I just
Mhm.
know that when we had an opportunity to connect for the first time a few weeks ago and had a brief conversation together, there is a wealth that I know you have to offer to our listeners as we talk and explore together what it means to pursue excellence, what it means to
Mhm.
be authentic. And so thank you very much for being here.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I felt the same way. When we met, I think the event that we met at alone means that we both have something to offer this world, or we would not have been invited. So I usually know when I go to that event that I'm going to meet one or two people that is going to really impact me in a certain way. And I met you, and you and I just are like, my gosh, we have to talk more. This doesn't end here. So, I even texted the host of that event and just said, I just want to thank you so much. I met, a couple amazing people, and our relationship's not going to end there. And that's really what life's all about. I mean, instant friendships. Like, how long do you need to know someone before you become friends?
I love so much that you brought that aspect into the front of our conversation about that life is about relationships,
Mm-hmm.
that it's about seeing these opportunities that we're given and
Mm.
then maximizing them
Yeah.
instead of just being like, oh, just letting it go by and be like,
Yep.
oh, that was a great
Right.
30-minute
R-
conversation
Right.
or less in our
Right.
situation, right? But noticing this is a great opportunity for some collaboration, for there to be
Absolutely.
something more. And so that's why we're here sitting together.
Mhm.
And it's a neat opportunity because we have some similarities,
We do.
but then we also, I know, have some differences that we're gonna
Mhm.
discover
Yep.
as we start,
Yeah.
just expanding in this conversation on other
Yeah.
areas of our lives, and definitely agree with you that the place that we met was significant,
Mhm.
and the purpose in that, like, we both went there intentionally, right?
Right.
And looking for what are the ways that we can contribute. And
Right.
so that's what this
Mm,
is about, is
yeah.
finding those strengths within ourselves
Mhm.
and then cultivating those, developing those.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your journey, how you've gotten to the place that you're at in your life.
Well, that's a long story, but
Okay.
and you and I didn't even talk about that, and that's what I like about this conversation is there was something that drew you to even ask me to be here today, not knowing anything about my story, not knowing anything about what I do or how I impact people in my daily life. So I thought that was really cool because I've asked you a couple times, why'd you ask me? What are we going to talk about? And that type of just authentic, you know what, we're just going to come in here and have a conversation was truly genuine. And one thing that we do have in common is I do have a YouTube channel and a podcast as well. I mean, I don't know, mine is polar opposite of what yours is. So, I mean, I do talk to people, I talk to professionals, but I'm in the health and wellness industry. I'm a fitness specialist. So that means I do all things health and wellness,
Mhm.
nutrition, fitness, strength conditioning coaching, personal training, mindset coaching, life coaching, anything in that realm of giving people, you know, whatever their goal is, very goal oriented. And I've done that for probably 25 years since
Mhm.
I got out of college.
Mhm.
Is I've always kind of been pushed into that area where I've helped people. And I also do real estate. Real estate and fitness are two totally different worlds.
Right.
So everyone's like, "Well, how did you get into real estate when you're in health and wellness?"
Great question.
Yes. Well, it's both dealing with people and it's
Okay.
both giving people what they want.
Mhm.
And I'm real good at, okay, what is our goal? Why are we here?
Mhm.
What is it that I can do for you, you know, and vice versa. So in real estate, it's kind of that same thing. Although our product is different, I'm still getting people what they want based on what they can give me. So I
Mhm.
pull out, okay, well, you want to buy a house. Here's what you want, what you need. Here's your budget. What I also did too as an extension of that is coach realtors and professionals on health and wellness, on how to be more productive, how to look their best, feel their best, and bring their best every day. Because we can't really do that when we're stuck in a rut. You know, when your body, your mind, your health, you're not sleeping well, when all of that is not chiming on all cylinders, and not like it has to be, you know, 100% perfect all the time. Because I really believe that life is not really all about balance. You know, we think, oh, you got to be balanced. You got to. It's really not. You know, there's a certain point in life when our health needs our attention. Our
Yeah.
kids need our attention. Our job needs our attention. Our podcast needs our attention, where we're going to put a little bit more emphasis here or there or somewhere else. But so that balance is not necessarily always what we're looking for.
So I want to make sure that I'm understanding you correctly. What you're
Mhm.
saying is that not every area of our life is going to receive the same effort from us always. That
Always.
there will be attention and effort in certain areas at certain times that
Right.
will kind of increase and decrease
You're
depending
gonna
on what the situation is.
you're gonna flow through
Yeah.
that. So with real estate and with, you know, being into fitness, I create like a coaching business. So when you create something new, you put all your effort into that new thing.
Yep.
I think even people that have multiple children probably know what this is like. I have 4 daughters,
Right.
4 girls. I don't know how I created 4 of the same gender, but I did. So I have 4 daughters, and that is also not balanced. Like we don't give the same energy to each kid all the time. I have, you know,
So true.
yes. So this one needs me right now, or this one's getting married, or this one's going through something. I have twin girls that are 15. You know, each one of them needs something at different times. So even those things are not always balanced.
Hmm.
You know, our job, sometimes it needs attention. Our career needs attention. And so things don't necessarily have to be balanced. So when I started real estate about 7 years ago.
Okay. Before you get into the real estate
Okay.
aspect, I just want to highlight for our listeners
Okay.
and watchers what you were just talking about. I think is really helpful because when we're driven, when we're high achievers, when we're, always being
Mhm.
extra, we need to give ourselves the freedom to be flexible as well, I think is
Right.
what you're describing, is
Right.
being able to notice where it's gonna be best for me to give more of my
Mhm.
attention in a certain moment, and be okay with giving less attention somewhere else during that period, right?
Right, right. Well, and I also say too, on that note, is nothing will stop you in your tracks faster than your health.
Mm,
So there are even times in your life where you have to take care of yourself. It's, kind of put your mask on first on the airplane and
yes.
then take care of the people around you. It's the same in that respect too. So yes, in life we go through all of these, times where different things do need attention. And you're right, high achievers tend to just go, 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 and pound, 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 pound. But there were a couple years ago where there was this boss babe,
Right.
I'm working while everybody else is partying and sleeping and doing all of these things, and all this woman boss and women have to be all these high, high, high achievers and go, go, go. Well, if you think about it, I mean, that's not really so much fun. Like, are we really balanced at that point where we feel like every single thing and every single day has to be, just drive, drive, drive? Where is the pause in that so we could take a moment and reflect? Or where is our, moment where we rest to recover? There's no rest and recover. It's just go,
Exactly.
go, go. So,
And you also mentioned our lives need to have fun in there also.
well, and fun. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, don't we do all of this for a purpose? My relationships are also about fun and laughter and celebration. And if we miss all of that because we're pounding and going and going and going, and then we forget to have fun. I have some clients, they're so stressed out. They come to me and their cortisol levels are through the roof and they can't find that happy medium where they're always like going, 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 going. And we have to find a way to lower their cortisol levels so that they can actually calm their nervous system, be able to think clearly, and be able to have relationships that don't always involve progress.
Yes. Not being too serious. It's
Yes,
like,
and it may be the most progressive thing you do all day.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for getting a little bit deeper into that with us, but
Mhm.
now we can continue on with what you were gonna
Bringing
bring
in
into the conversation
real
about,
estate.
yeah,
I do real estate. It's a hard business. It is a people business, and I'm in a people business right now. So, I have married those 2 together by being able to coach business people. I'm a realtor, so technically mostly realtors on, the area of health and wellness. Knowing that, like I said before, nothing will stop you in your track faster than your health. Also, nothing will rob your wealth faster than bad health. Like we work so hard, like we just mentioned about, being successful and doing everything that we need to do, that if we don't also take a minute or strategize how we're going to take care of our body and our mind and our gut, then something's going to break, eventually. And it may be when we're older, but I get a lot of people that are older in their life and they realize, you know what? I am unhealthy. Their grip strength is going, their, cognitive health is going, and they're realizing, you know what? I need to tap into that.
and so you have an opportunity to step into that particular place in their journey
Mhm.
and guide them towards the things that are going to enable them
Mhm.
to enjoy that at a different level.
Well, health and wellness is really my passion business. Real estate is a business that I got into. I was going through a divorce, and when I was going through that, of course, I have 4 daughters.
Yes.
They're very expensive. I was like, huh, well, maybe I need to have like another career. Maybe I need to do something else. But when I started on that track, I knew they were both people oriented, goal oriented. So I could could bridge the gap between the two.
Right. There would
Right.
be things that you could utilize in your
Right.
skill
Some
sets
tactics.
across
Uh-huh.
both of them.
And I love that. And I do love helping people, but definitely health and wellness is somewhere where, I like to hang my hat. And that's the best thing that I have to do. And I think that's actually the best thing that I have to offer
Right.
is creating a healthy environment for people and teaching people how to put fitness into their everyday life. And I
Yeah.
spend a lot of time doing that.
Okay. Well, before we explore that a little bit more,
Okay.
since you talked about the moment when you went into real estate,
Hmm.
would you be willing to share with us about that particular experience and transition in regards to it was kind of something that you, in a sense, needed, or it
Hmm.
was more out of necessity than, "Hey, I wanna try
I
this."
love houses and I want to do
So,
real estate.
if you go back to that process of learning about real estate
Hmm.
and think through with us kind of that progression, how would you describe that? And if there's listeners that are in that place of, because of necessity, they're stepping
Hmm.
out, doing something new,
Right.
what are some of the things that you could help guide them to be able to now be in a place where
Yeah.
it's a much more comfortable.
Right. Well, like I mentioned, when I started in real estate, I was going through a divorce. Well, you know what? I take that back. I was not at that point yet, but I saw in my future that that was going to be a possibility. So we always have that point in that journey that we're like, you know what? My life's about to change.
Mhm.
And in order for me to have that change, I have these responsibilities that I can't let go of. So I have to find a way to be able to support myself and my children if my life were to change. And I think it takes that kind of a push to get a lot of people to make certain changes that they probably should have made anyway.
Yes, I
Because
agree.
when life is all, fun and, that comfortableness doesn't create any change. And we can kind of stay in that rut and we don't do anything. It is the same with, people go through a divorce and they change everything, change the way they look, change their hair, change, all kinds of things. So I really reflected on that moment and I thought, I need to get into something that will allow me, for one, I have to be flexible in my schedule. Fitness and wellness, I work with clients one-on-one. So I have a lot of flexibility there. In real estate, I saw that as an opportunity also to give me some freedom. I can work for myself. I've always worked for myself. I never really had a boss. I was always my own boss.
Okay.
So those two things kind of helped me with that. My dad was in real estate, so he and I would flip some houses together, and so kind of in that area anyway. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to do this. So I would work all day, take care of my young kids at the time, and then at night study for my real estate exam, and just grit down and do it. And it was hard. It was not easy. I was up late at night. At the time, let's see, my twins are now 15, so they were like 8 years old.
Yeah.
7, 8, so I had 2 7-year-olds, a 10-year-old, and then a 15-year-old. And, health and wellness clients all day and then real estate, learning that at night. But I knew that I had to have that in order to be able to make it if I were to be on my own. And I saw that that was in my future. So it was time to again, back to the balance. I was completely out of balance, but it needed me at that moment. And so I poured everything into that and I got my real estate license. And I have a lot of friends, if you live in Dallas, everybody knows a realtor. So I had a lot of friends that were realtors. So they poured into me. I reached out to them. And sometimes you just have to ask for help, and you can't be ashamed to do that. I was like, hey guys, I've got my real estate license. I really need help. I need to bridge this gap on what I need. And then quickly after that, I did go through a divorce. That
So as you're sharing this, I wanna help our listeners notice this thread. You started the conversation out
Mhm.
about relationships, but we got connected at that event,
Mhm.
and now you're bringing in that thread of relationships again, talking about that as you were starting this new journey in real estate,
Right.
you reached out to people that
Yep.
could support you. You weren't intimidated to say, "Hey,
No.
I need some help. I'm needing,"
Yeah. I need someone to pour into me for a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I definitely did, and I had some friends that were doing really well, but they were doing really well in mentorship in real estate. So that really helped me. I was like, where should I go? What do I do? But then how do you get clients? Like it's not just, oh, I got my real estate license and all of a sudden people are going to be, calling you. It is definitely not that way. It takes constant attention on the people around you. But so you can't forget the people that support you. And if you take a minute, you will be surprised at how many people really do support you, and how many people are really there for you, even if you haven't talked to them in a long time. Is all these people and these connections, if you really sit and think about it, we all can create a whole new, well, people are really going to be there to support you. We can create a whole new environment for ourselves and pull us out of a rut that we might be in and change directions, but you have to ask for help. You have to get these people, and some people would say, "Oh, I'm too busy," or "That's not really what I do." And you know what? That's a learning experience too.
Yes.
In the world of real estate, you really need to learn how to take a no for a no instead of a no as, "Oh, they don't like me," and hurt your ego. You got to put all that aside.
In life, not just in
Yes,
real estate, but in life. I know
yes, you
those
have.
that are listening and, they're in different industries and in different careers, different professions, but that
Right.
is something that is so key, not letting our ego feel that as a personal attack,
Mm-hmm.
but to understand in humility in the big picture of things,
Right.
a no is simply redirecting us towards
A
something else.
yeah, or a yes. Or what you can do too with no's is, what would have made them say yes? How do I redirect that relationship or that conversation to support more of a yes?
Right.
And especially in real estate, like, why would somebody not pick me to either buy or sell their home? Like, why would they pick somebody else? And we can reflect on that and try to, mold into something that is more appealing to everybody. But it is
So
hard.
that's a really valuable perspective to have
Mhm.
is when someone doesn't choose you, giving an opportunity to say, "Okay, what can I improve on? What can I do different
Mhm.
next time?" Those are also
Right.
great opportunities right there.
Well, and we miss those opportunities because we're not paying attention or we're hurt.
Right. If
You
we get
know?
hurt, then it's just like,
Like,
"Oh, man."
They didn't
Yeah.
pick me." But, if you say, "Okay, well, why would somebody have done that?" And usually, especially in real estate, what I come to find out is they just didn't think about me at the time.
Okay.
They didn't real estate could be something, "Oh, I'm not ready to sell my house. Not ready, not ready, not ready." And when you're ready, boom, whoever the first realtor is that comes to their mind.
Yeah.
So you have to be top of mind, and
Right.
you have to reach out and you have to create those relationships. That's what social media does so well, is it helps people stay connected to people that are not in their life all the time, that they're not communicating with all the time. It just helps you kind of plug in there every now and then. Like, you have to stay relevant there if you want people to remember you in a moment when they need you, whatever it is that you have to offer.
Right.
Between that and fitness and wellness, it's the same thing. Is, when people are that make those decisions hasty, and you have to stay top of mind.
Okay, so I'm gonna share with you
Okay.
a little bit of what I go through
Okay.
on a personal level with what you're talking about right now,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe there's somebody listening that also has this kind of back and forth. So, as you're talking about continuing to build these relationships, right?
Mhm.
It's our Rolodex of relationships
Yeah.
that are one of our biggest assets in life, and staying connected with these people so that we
Mhm.
are top of mind and what we have to offer is readily available
Right.
when someone is in that moment of, "Okay, I need this."
Mhm.
Well, so one of the things that I do is I try to send, just quick text messages even. You
Right.
know, you mentioned social media as a way to stay connected with people, but also when I think of somebody, I'll just send a quick text message, "Hey, I was just thinking about you. I hope you're having a great day," kind of a thing. And then at times, not always, but there's sometimes when I think, "Oh, is that like self-serving?" And then I'm like, "No, I genuinely appreciate this person. Like I'm
Mhm.
so glad that they're a part of my life." And so, I think sometimes we get in our own heads about things. At least I do.
We
And I
do.
overthink things.
Right.
And so I make it more complicated when really having a relationship with someone, like you said at the beginning, building friendships, new friendships doesn't
Mhm.
have to be hard.
It doesn't ha but it is because of what you said, is we get in our own heads and we think that, "Oh, they're not gonna want that, text from me." Everybody wants to be thought about.
Right.
And I have this conversation with my kids because they're teenagers, and they're like, "Well, they're gonna think I'm stupid." Are they? Or I tell them, everybody wants to be invited.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to know that you thought about them.
Mhm.
Like, they don't even need your text, or your message doesn't even have to be you have to respond back.
Yeah.
It's just, "Hey, I was just thinking about you. I was driving by."
Mhm.
"Hey, I was thinking about you. I drove by that coffee shop that we met at the other day."
Exactly.
And those, you're right, those connections are really helpful. They don't warrant any type of response or
Yeah.
anything from the other person. It's just letting people know that you're thinking about them. And I am pretty sure everybody appreciates being thought about, being invited, and we lose that because we're so self-conscious, I
Mhm.
guess.
Mhm.
And, I see it with my kids all the
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
try to tell them
So
not to be that way.
so this is something that, our listeners, those that are watching, are given that freedom. Like, when you think of somebody, express that gratitude and appreciation that they're a part of your life
Right.
and that you have an opportunity to share your love with them and
Mhm.
just letting them know, "Hey, I was thinking about you today
Right.
and I appreciate you."
Well, and sometimes it's not even what you say, it's just that you thought about them. I mean, how cool is that? Like, in your day, we're all so busy and someone thought about you. That's why even when people say, "Oh, I didn't have time to text you, I'm sorry." And you're like, takes 5 seconds. I could even talk text.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they didn't think about you.
Yes.
And, and that's fine too, because we are all busy, and we don't have to stay, thinking about the same person. But that goes back to that advertising and being top of mind, and sending something or putting something online. Like, I post online randomly just so people know I'm still around. People know that I still do real estate and I still do health and wellness,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's the reason why, is to stay connected. Anybody needs me, I'm here. I mean, it's bikini season. Everybody needs me right now.
Yes.
So
They're all looking for somebody that can help
they
them look the way
yes.
they wanna look.
Yes, there is a lot of information out there about health and wellness and fitness and weight loss and stuff like that. So, that's what I do.
So what would you say is the satisfaction of when you have an opportunity to work with someone on their health journey
Mhm.
and see the impact that that's having in their lives? How does that impact you getting to see someone else
Yeah.
transform?
Well, I mean, it is actually the funnest thing to be involved in, because a lot of my clients, I'm involved with their whole family.
Okay.
You know, I have seen them get married. I have helped them buy their first house.
Because you've been in it for
I
25 years,
Yes.
so
So
you
I have had some
okay.
clients when they were 9, now they're 30, and they're getting married and having babies, and I get to be part of all of that.
That's
Um,
incredible.
yeah, so that is, definitely a gift that
I'm glad I asked that question. That was not what I was expecting,
Yes,
is just the longevity of
the
the
longevity.
relationship, which is
Well, and
awesome.
having people that like you and trust you for that long is a big deal. You know,
Absolutely.
people will invest in somebody and in a business if they know, like, and trust you.
Definitely.
Real estate, one of the biggest things that they'll ever buy, biggest purchase is their home.
Mhm.
Where they love, where they have family, where they have events. If they're gonna trust you to buy their home, then, they know, like, and trust you. Their body, their health, their fitness, that's also one of the most important assets that I have is me and my health. So if somebody's gonna trust me to take ownership of that for them, then, I mean, what an honor that they trust me enough to say, "Jenny, I wanna walk this road with you. I'm gonna invest monetarily, my time, my energy, but here's my family. Here's what I'm doing." I have some girls that are getting married. I get to see their dress. We're gonna go to Spain and for the wedding. I mean, and I get to walk that journey with them. They trust me
That's phenomenal.
to on that wedding date that they're gonna look their best. They're putting all this money in this investment and this their dress, and it's beautiful in their family, and they're gonna trust me with the most important thing, their body, their mind. So in order to be able to walk that journey with them is such an honor. And to I have people that will even refer people to me for that reason. Really? So then there's somebody else who believes in me enough to bring me somebody and say, "Oh, I have the perfect person that can help you do what you want to do." That is huge. And then I'm going to have a baby. I have several clients that are pregnant. I mean, you're trusting me with not only you, but your little baby that we're creating, and we're going through life together. And that's really, I mean, that's priceless. And
Yes.
then I have clients, on a little different scale that their quality of life improves. I have doctors and surgeons and that come and see me for their health and wellness. They know everything about the human body. I have people that know more about nutrition maybe than I do, but it's the coaching and the accountability, and it's the goal setting and the planning that they're putting in my hands that is allowing me to give back to them. And when I see them excited about it and see them progressing and going hiking with their family, and, they're 80 years old and swimming at Lifetime. I mean, these things they wouldn't be able to do without having somebody next to them and hold them accountable for what they're wanting to do. That's all the gratitude I need right there.
Those are incredible things that I'm gonna come back to. 2
Okay.
things that you talked about,
Okay.
and I'm gonna ask some specific things, but before I do that,
Okay.
I'm thinking of a friend that I have, Jennifer,
Okay.
who I got to meet at a networking event, and she has partnered with Flex with Purpose
Okay.
and helps make this conversation that we're having right now possible. So,
Wow.
I'm gonna give her a little shout out because,
Awesome.
we're talking about when you think of somebody,
Yeah.
then just express that gratitude
Yeah.
and let them know. So, Jennifer, thank you for partnering and making this possible. And for all of you out there listening, please go to her website. It is bloombakery.com, BLUME bakery.com, because she has the most amazing dairy-free, gluten-free
Dairy free.
cookies that are these fabulous flavors.
Wow.
Iced lemon, spiced,
We should have those
snickerdoodle.
here.
I know, right? Just she does such a fabulous job in everything that she does,
Wow.
serving people really well and making it possible to enjoy desserts. So,
Wow.
Jennifer, thank you so much for that, and really if you get on her website, you will love placing an order with her, not just getting to enjoy her cookies, but experiencing an interaction with Jennifer will brighten your day. I guarantee it.
Yes, sounds like it. I
So,
wanna go.
yeah, yeah. No time to wait in long lines. Neither do most people heading to work. This is the kind of stop that actually fits your morning. Great lattes, energizing matcha, and house-made specialty drinks. Made to fill your day, not slow it down. Visit Maestro Coffee TX on Instagram for more information. So I'm going to go back to
Okay.
the two things that were going through my mind as you were sharing this
Mhm.
satisfaction that you get to experience with your clients and
Mhm.
helping them on their journeys. One is you're talking about this longevity that is created
Right.
over time
Mhm.
with your clients in a way that they invite you into these really, really special moments of their lives.
Right.
And you get to be a huge part of
Yeah.
that moment being as amazing as it can be.
Yeah.
So, help us understand a little bit more about the intentionality of that consistency.
Right.
How do you cultivate that consistency,
Right.
and what has it taken on your part? Because you talked about this, you gotta be able to put the oxygen on before you can give it to somebody
Mhm.
else.
Mhm.
So in order to give such an incredible, service to everyone that you are working with,
Right.
you gotta also keep yourself in that state,
Right.
right?
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I could definitely say that at different times in my career, it has been off balance. I mean, I do have 4 children, so I have been, there's been different times where I could say I wasn't at my tip top, but I still had a job. You can walk into your regular job every day where you feel like, oh, I'm a little bit drained myself, but you can still do a good job. So there has been times where that's been off balance, and I think I did mention that I'd gone through a divorce. I was a mess
Mhm,
then. So
mhm.
I was definitely not at my tip top, but my clients and the people that I had around me are really kind of what helped push me through all of that. So the connection that I make with my clients is for both. I need them as much as they need me.
Oh, I love
So,
that.
yeah, so when I meet someone for the first time, the first conversation is, what is your goal? What am I doing for you? I have to have a strategy and I have to have a purpose. So where some, if you look at personal trainers as a whole, there's some really bad ones and then there's some really good ones. And the really good ones are able to really get in there and get a deep dive into what this client is really wanting to do and what their why is. Why are you here and what are you wanting to do with that? Like, even though I'm training people to get married or to, go through prenatal and have a baby, I don't expect our relationship to end there. I want that to last a long time. So it's instead of 10 sessions, okay, we're going to do 10 sessions and then you're gone, is creating goal setting is, okay, this is our first goal, but then we need to learn how to maintain that so that your life revolves around your fitness, not just your fitness is stuck in here for a certain amount of time. So in order to get somebody in the habit of going to the gym, if they come to me and they're willing to say, I want your help, I'm going to come in and I'm going to invest, this time and this money. It's up to me to create a lifestyle around that's conducive for them to go to the gym every day. So if I have somebody who never goes to the gym at all or never works out at all or goes for a walk, the things that they do around that event have to change.
Okay.
So it's not just about going to the gym. It's actually, what do you do before you go to the gym? Well, you have to have shoes. You have to, what do you drink your coffee? So we change the things before and after their event. So I'm changing everything in their world that they'll allow me to. And
Yes.
and then it brings them to the habit of coming to the gym and creating that. And then if they are, have an injury or have a cold or have a sick, I still don't allow any of that to just go away. Like if you come to the gym every day at 9 o'clock and you come and see me, what you do at right before that and what you do right after that has changed. You've created a habit. And in order to get back out of that habit, those things are going to change again. So in order to make this now a part of their life is I have to change how they view their workout. It's not just where you're going. It's just what you do. Well, I go to the gym every day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I meet with Jenny Tuesday, Thursday. I always go to Pilates. It's just what you do. It's instead of being something that is a chore for you. And that creates that longevity. It's just, something that keeps going. Plus having goals. Like it doesn't always have to be a wedding, a baby, or a 5K or a marathon or anything like that. It could simply be a hiking trip. It could simply be, you're a surgeon and you have 12 surgeries a day. How do you have the longevity to be able to do that? Or it's just living, a full life. You're having grandkids. How are you going to keep up with your grandkids? These are things that are extremely important to life. And as soon as you're not able to do those things, it's definitely a kickback. Also, I have clients that are high producers. They do speaking engagements or they, speak in front of hundreds of people. Their confidence level changes according to how they take care of their body and their health and wellness. So in order to reach the goal of giving, being a high performer or, giving a speech to hundreds of people, they have to feel good about themselves. They have to be reaching their goal. They have to say, yes, I did that, or yes, I accomplished that, taking them above and beyond what their body feels like it's capable of. As soon as somebody does that, and if they can really do that every day, do something a little bit outside your comfort zone every day, the things that are larger than life for you, like say you're going to go speak in front of 500 people, you probably want to get your workout in that day. You probably want to do something, impressive to yourself so that when you walk into an environment, you can be on top of your game. And people create a rut. They get themselves in a rut by not doing those things, by not working out every day, not going to the gym, not walking, whatever it is that whatever your level is. And then we create a rut and we just kind of stay lost in that because the things around it are not changing. So what I have a lot of people do also is visualize your day. Actually sit for a moment and close your eyes and visualize your day. Because if you think about like even all athletes and Olympic athletes, you can see them actually visualizing their event and their activity. So they can close their eyes and you can see them running through their marathon or swimming their strokes and they're, going, you can see their body moving and they're actually transforming their thoughts into being what they want to accomplish.
And they put it on repeat.
And they put it on repeat. Okay. And let's say Michael Phelps does this, actually, the swimmer, the Olympic swimmer. So he will visualize his entire day and his entire event to the touch of the wall. If he doesn't touch that wall, he didn't visually see completion. But us, we're not Olympians, or we may not even be an athlete, but we are life livers. So we are living every day. So what if we close our eyes and we think, okay, in the morning, I'm going to get up, I'm going to put my shoes by the door, I'm going to go walk, I'm going to come back, I'm going to make coffee. Those are all healthy things. I can ask any overweight person, give me 10 things they know about losing weight or health and wellness. They're going to give me 10 good things. So we all know I don't come home and eat a donut. I come home and make my coffee, I get ready, I get dressed, and then I go to work, and then I need, to bring some healthy food. Well, I don't have any healthy food. The first thing is I need to plan and prepare to be a healthy person. So if you say I want to be healthier and fit, you have to think like a healthy, fit person. You can't think like oh, I'm in disarray and I don't like to shop and I eat fast food. We all know those are not attributes of a healthy person. But all of these events, the visualization, closing your eyes for a minute and thinking through your day will create an environment for those things to actually happen.
I love it. Yeah. So it reminds us we have a choice, right? That there
We
are
do.
options available to us
Right. Right.
and that we can decide
Right.
if we're going to choose the donut or not. We can decide if we're going to eat a healthy lunch or not.
Right.
And so when we allow ourselves that brief moment to visualize,
Mm-hmm.
then it gives us the opportunity to plan and
Right.
prepare.
Right. And
And some of the other things that I want to make sure our listeners caught in what
yeah.
you've been sharing that are so valuable
Okay.
are that, first of all, I think there is a wide group of people of us that struggle with the discipline, the willpower, the
Mm-hmm.
motivation.
Mm-hmm.
But what you said is so key. And I heard this recently on a podcast said in a very similar way. And I think it's a great way to frame it is that you don't focus on, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to get my workout in. You create systems that then
Mm-hmm.
form habits. And so you
Mm-hmm.
change what leads up to your workout, you change what
Mm-hmm.
happens after your workout.
Right.
And so then it just becomes a part of what you do, of who
Right.
you are. And it's just a natural flow because you've created
Mm-hmm.
that habit, that system of
Mm-hmm.
making that a part of your day.
Right. And sometimes it's not your goal that is wrong, it's your system that's wrong.
Yes.
And you have to change what it is that you're doing to reach the goal that you're wanting to reach. So let's say every day you wake up and you walk by the donut, we'll stick with the donuts.
Okay.
You walk by the donut shop to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
You smell the donuts, you go in, you eat a donut. So every time you do that same event, you're going to want a donut. But let's say you change your route. You
There it
don't
is.
walk
That's
right. You think, you know what? I really don't want to eat those donuts anymore. I got to change the habit that created the donuts in the first place. Plus, you also have to tell yourself, I don't like donuts.
Mm.
So what if you ate a donut yesterday? Today, you don't like donuts. It would
Mhm.
be the same with any habit that you're wanting to change, like
Mhm.
smoking cigarettes. Like if you want to quit smoking cigarettes, you can't go around saying you're a smoker because in your mind, you smoke cigarettes. But if you had a cigarette yesterday, but you don't want to be a smoker today, and someone asks you, hey, do you want a cigarette? Say, well, I don't smoke, or I don't eat donuts, or I go to the gym. That would make you do the things that you would do as a healthy, fit person.
And what you're doing right now is describing and highlighting for all of us
Mm-hmm.
that connection between your mindset and
Right.
your physical health.
Right.
And that's something that you are constantly working on
Right.
is helping people with their mindset
Right.
so that then they can perform
Right.
at a high level
Right.
and enjoy their life.
Well, and
Because you were talking about that and this is something that I can very much it resonates with me
Mm.
is when you do a workout, don't just go through it like it's routine. Push yourself to do one more rep.
Yeah.
In that moment, you're reminding yourself, I can do things that are hard. So
Right.
then when you show up at work, you're like, I'm a
Got
badass. I
this.
can do this.
Yeah, you know what I
I
just did
can
this morning?
yeah.
Well, and
But having those little moments of victories where you remind yourself,
they're
you know
so
what?
important.
I'm capable of doing more than just the minimum, right?
Right. Well, we are all capable of doing hard things.
Right.
And you had mentioned like the thing about the motivation. I mean, sometimes you're not motivated. Like if
Right.
we're waiting to be motivated to do something hard, we may not ever do something hard. Like we don't always have to be in such a fantastic workout mood or a fantastic mood to do something that you need to do. If we're sitting around waiting for us to want to do something that we don't currently do, it's not going to happen. We don't need motivation. You need to just do it. Like
It's
there,
a decision that you can make, right?
yeah, like you were saying, it's all about choices. Like if you say, okay, well, I don't want to be overweight. My knees hurt all the time. I can't hang out with my grandkids, and my family wants to go skiing for the winter, but I am not in good condition to do that. Your quality of life is lowering. And the longer that you stay in that, the longer you'll create that rut. And all of a sudden, your family won't even invite you.
Which
All
is so
of a
sad,
sudden
right?
you'll say, well,
Yeah.
you guys go ahead. And that creates those bad habits. There's really no reason why we need to age. We're aging on purpose. Like, why don't we switch that around to have longevity? I'll tell people, don't ever quit doing what you're doing. It may change and adjust. Like if you're a tennis player and you're getting much older, you may switch what it is that you're doing, but you're still doing those activities.
Right.
So I think that keeps that motivation, because everybody looks for motivation all the time.
Yes.
But we don't need to have it. We just need to remember why we're doing it. It's
Which
like
is key.
running a marathon. Like we're not always going to feel like running the next mile. But, we have to remember why we're doing it. And if you don't remember why you're running a marathon, the last mile will tell you.
Yes.
We don't have to have sheer motivation, drive, focus, and all of this. We just have to show up.
Yes. I agree. And it goes back to you talking about when you were transitioning into real estate, you were focused on your why. You knew your why.
Yeah. And it was
And
hard.
so you were able to continue in that process,
Yeah.
even though it was hard.
It was
When
hard. And like you mentioned, part of what I was going through at that time, I was out of balance. Life was out of balance in a lot of areas, but it really took me diving into that, be able to find a different future for myself. And if I hadn't have done it then, the route would have been different. It would look different, but it was necessary. And the same with people in their fitness and their wellness is sometimes, when your health is looking at you or your obesity is looking at you in the face, sometimes you got to bear down and just do it anyway.
and think about your why,
Think
which
about your why.
is the thing that you encourage your clients over and over when you're giving them that direction and guidance of visualizing their life. Why are they going to work out?
Right.
Because this
And
is
it's
what
that,
they want their life to look like.
yeah, exactly. And it's their feel like it. Like everybody, we're so into our feelings. Like, I don't feel like it. That feels hard, or that feels this way or that way. And, sometimes your feelings get in your way.
I agree.
Right? We don't always feel like it.
No, I actually just recently was having a conversation about that and was encouraging someone else because I was telling them I get up and I go to the gym, but I don't feel like it most mornings.
Nobody
I
feels like it
would
walking in the
much
door.
rather
They
just
all feel
stay in
happy
my
when they
bed
leave.
with my blanket
Absolutely, don't we?
and get a little, an extra hour
Mhm.
of sleep. But I've decided, because I know that when I go, I'm going to show up better the rest of my day. I'm going to show up with a different mindset. I'm going to
100%.
show up at a different level of performance because I've chosen to do that.
Right.
And
And anybody that doesn't think that is fooling themselves. It is the most important. To me, it's a non-negotiable for you to not put it into your lifestyle somewhere, your health and wellness and your fitness. Like, it is definitely, like you said, the most important thing that you can do every day is take a minute and take care of yourself.
right, because we are body, mind, and soul.
We are.
And if we neglect any of those parts of ourselves, then we're going to reduce our capacity to engage.
And to handle adversity, to handle
Right.
anything. I mean, there's a lot of times I don't feel like being a mom. I am tired. I have two
Yeah, let's
15-year-olds.
just be very real.
Let's
I
just
have
be
4
real.
kids too, Jenny.
Do you
I
have 4 kids?
Yes, I have 3 girls and 1 boy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that we're the same. No
Yeah.
wonder we get along so
I
well.
know, right?
We're both just a little bit crazy. No, but sometimes being parenting is hard. There's no doubt about it, and 4 is hard, and sometimes we don't feel like doing that either. Sometimes I don't feel like making dinner at night. All these feelings get in the way, but would we ever one day not take care of our children? Would we ever one day not make dinner or have dinner, however we look at it, for our children? No, we will definitely do that. I am much more productive and I'm a much better mom when I work out or do something every day for
The
myself.
same for me.
I mean, I really am. And I even think they can notice, but also everything else is in disarray. Like my house is a little messier. I won't get to the laundry. I'm a little bit more not lazy, I'm never lazy, but a little bit more lazier than I would be if I'm not on my regular workout routine. And I have moments where I don't always get there either, just because it's what I do. Sometimes I'm spent at the end of the day. I am. But then it takes you right back to those goals and your mindset and my visualization. I mean, I have to even have been doing this as long as I have to rethink, okay, everything's in disarray right here. What do I need to be doing? How do I get back on track? I even write down what my food or what I'm going to eat, in order to get back on track. It's a simple task, but I have, people write down, okay, well, what are you going to eat tomorrow? And they're like, well, I don't know. But if you don't have it at your house, you're not going to eat it tomorrow. It's guaranteed. So that goes back to kind of that visualization. Let's take a minute and visualize how you're going to make that happen and how we're going to put this into your day. Because, like I said, it's really a non-negotiable and it's something you have to do.
And Jenny, I'm so appreciative that you brought into this conversation having compassion and grace for ourselves, not beating ourselves up if we didn't go to the gym one day.
Oh, yeah.
And recognizing recently I was really struggling to drink water. Like I make it a point to drink water because that is really important for our health, right? And I was really struggling to drink water. Just with everything that I was doing, I would forget about it. So I literally just, with a pen, got a piece of paper and put these squares, this is the amount of water that I want. And I just taped it up on the pantry door. Just real basic. But it kept me on track to remember to drink water daily. Yeah. So sometimes, like you mentioned, you know what? I know I'm really having season where it's hard for me to pay attention to eating healthy. So writing it down is going to be a key way to keep that.
Yep. Take a minute, think it through, and then say, okay, what do I need to do in order to reach this goal? So here's another thing that I have people do. Like, you don't have to do everything at once. Let's say we took...
So
I know, right?
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it doesn't all have to happen tonight. So let's say you have a goal to reach and you are, we have 6 weeks. Let's say the first week you walk every day. You open the front door, you walk out, 15 minutes, turn around, walk back, 15 minutes, 30 minutes of cardio. That's 1 week. The next week you start drinking a gallon of water. Like average person needs a gallon of water. It's 128 ounces. You can look at how many ounces that is. That'll tell you how much you need in a day. You wrote it down, put it on your wall. There's 2 things. So now you're walking 30 minutes a day and you're drinking a gallon of water every day. So those are 2 things. Week 3, okay, you go to a gym. Okay. And what did we mention about that? Everything before you go to the gym, everything after you go to the gym needs to change and adjust to get you to the gym. Now, you don't even need to do anything when you're there. You just need to create the habit of going there. So now we've got walk 30 minutes every day, drink a gallon of water every day, and now you're going to the gym every day. So when you're there, you're going to do something. I might as well get on this bike, or I might as well, look at that trainer over there. That looks like a friendly person. I'm going to work with them. So you do that. So now we have 3 weeks of 3 amazing things that everybody knows is important. So then we go to week 4. Okay, I'm going to eliminate sugar. can you imagine? Okay, we got like 4 amazing things, 4 weeks, and we're taking little steps. And then week 5, we pick something else. Okay, I think I'm gonna get more protein. Everybody talks about this eating more protein. Okay, now you're walking 30 minutes, you're drinking a gallon of water, you're going to the gym every day, you eliminated sugar, and now you're adding more protein into your diet. And now here we come to week 6. You look amazing. You feel fantastic. You have tons more energy. And then you can pick whatever you want. And then you've created all of these healthy habits. And those things can last over time because they're simple. Like, it doesn't take any more time to drink more water. It doesn't take any more time. You're going to eat anyway. You might as well start to learn how to do the things that healthy people tend to do, and that's whether it's eating more protein or watching what they eat or whatever that might be. These things are not, we don't have to search the internet for this. We know this. We don't have to overcomplicate it. Like, we can spend so much time scouring social media on how to lose weight and be healthier, but we already know 10 good things about how to lose weight and how to stay in shape. And if we would just apply those over a period of time, at the end of 6 weeks, you would look amazing. You would feel amazing. And then you'd be ready for more and more. And that's back to your asking, how do you get motivated, or how do you keep that motivation? Is you just put things in place that you can handle, and you start molding your life around what that goal is. And once you do that, you're unstoppable.
I know that we're getting towards the end of this conversation. And so as we end, I want to say that what you just shared, it's doable. It's attainable. Anybody that's listening
Yep.
is able to do these things.
Yep.
And one of the things that you've already brought up is going to be a key part of it, is when they're starting this journey, for them to reach out to somebody and share, hey, I've decided that I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start drinking more water, and bring somebody else into the journey, because then you have accountability, then you have that relationship, and it is something that we tend to be more consistent with if we're not doing it alone.
Well, and I call that your growth team.
Okay.
So I have this circle of fitness, and I go over this with all my clients. So it has pieces of the pie of all these pieces of your circle of fitness or wellness, however you want to call it. Training, supplementation, rehab, rest, and recovery is just as important. Just a piece of the pie, the same size as every other piece of the pie. Your rehab, prehab, anything that your body would need to do to stay healthy, supplementation, anything like that. But another piece of the pie, which is just as important as everything else, is your growth team. So these are a group of people that you have trusted to help you reach your goal. Sometimes your growth team is not your family or your husband or your significant other. They are people that, like, they would be like a me, somebody who you have gone to and said, this is what I want to reach my goal. If you're going to ask somebody to walk with you, or tell someone that you're starting to walk, you're wanting them to hold you accountable to that. Sometimes that's not always your spouse, because sometimes you get home at the end of the night, and if you haven't walked that day and you're exhausted, the last thing you want to hear from your loved one is, hey, you need to get out there and walk. So they may not be important for your growth team, but you do need to decide, if you're going to reach big goals, you have to have a growth team. You have to have a mentor. You have to have somebody that is invested in what your growth is, wherever it is. It could be health and wellness. It could be your job. It could be your career. It could be your podcast. You need to draw people in that are invested in specifically what that is. My parents love me just the way that I am. So as far as my fitness or my growth in business, they may not be on my growth team. They don't want to see me struggle. They don't want to see me have to work too hard. They don't want to see me hungry or tired. Sometimes when life is out of balance, your loved ones want to push you back into that balance, so they're not your growth team. So if you're looking to be, I have a wedding, I have a date, I'm very specific on that. Sometimes your growth team has to be the person that you trust to help you reach that goal and finish to the end.
That's great. And I know that everybody who's listening can find those people in their lives.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm remembering how you were talking about that there's people that come to you to get that accountability. You're a part of their growth team,
Mhm.
even though they're doctors and know more than you as far as,
The
the body
body.
and things like that, but they understand the value of having someone else be a part of their growth team. And
Absolutely.
so that is something that we all can tap into.
Yeah, and even if it's just monetary is an investment. And you're investing in yourself. Like, there's some people, even in my family, I make everybody pay a certain amount only because that taps into something that's important to them. Sometimes even if I'm gonna give it back to them at the end. But, investing something into what you're really wanting, like, say you hire a mentor that is part of your growth team. There's somebody that is put in place to help you reach a specific goal. Those people are vital. I'm sure you have a mentor. I have
Mhm.
mentors in
Yes.
specific areas. I mean, even in parenting and being a good person, like, life coaches are valuable to the way that we live our life because they're only centered around making us a better person. Like, who wouldn't want that? And that is part of your growth team. Mentorship is extremely important. And that's really what your fitness professional or your business professional really is.
Yes. Jenny, I really am deeply grateful for getting this opportunity
Isn't it
to
fun?
just share this conversation, learn from you, and guide and encourage our listeners because
Absolutely.
these are such valuable tools
Mhm.
and the things that have been talked about, the things that have been shared are a part of everybody being able to pursue excellence in their personal,
Right.
professional life. Really, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for asking me. This was great. We could talk for hours.
I know. I'm thinking, when we always get that it's almost time. I'm
I know.
like,
You're like,
we could just like
we could.
keep going, but um what we have right now is quality. What we
Yeah.
have is a really great episode that I'm thrilled to be able to share.
Well, you're really good at what you do.
Well,
And you're
thank
really
you.
fit too, by the way.
Oh, well, thank
I
you.
can see that.
It's a lot of what you were talking about are things that I've learned in the last 8 years of my life. And
Yeah.
so it's something that I can relate to very well
Mhm.
and confirm so much of what you were talking about. And so in a way, I was telling you before when we were just kind of chatting
Mhm.
beforehand, that for me, one of the definitions of success is that it is going to inspire hope for someone else.
Right.
So you look at me right now, if you're watching on YouTube, you see me and you think, oh man, like she's just got it all together. No, I don't. No, I
Do
don't.
we yeah,
Um,
no.
and I wouldn't be at the place I'm at without people like you, Jenny. You are not my trainer, but I've had
Right.
so many trainers that have helped me and people on my growth team.
Mhm.
And it's been a journey and there's been mountains
Sure.
and valleys along the
Yeah.
way. But it definitely is worth it. It is so
Yeah.
worth it, to invest financially. It's worth it to invest the time. It's
Mhm.
worth it to get up and show up even when you don't feel like it,
Right,
you
right.
know?
And then just remember, like what we said earlier, you don't have to always feel like it. We get so caught up into our feelings. In order for you to be dominant in this space and talk to the people that you talk to, you're such an influential person. Like, you wouldn't be able to hold the position in that chair that you are and speak to the people that you're speaking to without the confidence that you've got this. And how do you get that? You live your life every day pouring into yourself a little bit.
Yes, that's where it
I
starts.
can see that.
Yeah. And you have too, and that's very evident and it's encouraging,
Yeah.
because then it's something that people see, this is attainable. I
Mhm.
can do this.
I can do this.
If Jenny can do it, if Schalee can do it, I can too.
That's right.
So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was an honor.
Yeah. It's been fun. It's been a joy.
Yeah.
And I've really just loved it.